Now is the time on GameScoop when we play video game 20 questions. And first of all, let's acknowledge that more than one of you very helpfully reached out to me 2 weeks ago to let me know that Haze was actually not a multi-console game. It was a PS3 exclusive. That had totally slipped my mind. Although I do not think it would have helped these guys.
Was that the 20 questions?
Yeah.
A couple weeks
and they
ago?
asked if it was an exclusive, and I said no, but it was. But they still would never have gotten to Haze.
In your defense,
I don't know.
I would never have gotten Haze. I can't speak for the other guys.
Oh, you wouldn't know? I thought you were a big Free Radicals fan.
Haze is not.
He doesn't even know what the game is.
None.
Okay.
No context for Haze.
But
All
anyway,
right.
Nobody played it.
yeah.
Interesting. And you're a
however-
Free Radicals guy, aren't you? Like I thought you liked the
TimeSplitters.
right. That's what I'm saying. I thought for sure the two of you would.
No context for Haze at all. I
interesting.
missed Haze completely.
I'm going to start a petition for TimeSplitters 2 HD remake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
I'll sign it.
anyway.
I'll sign
Once.
it.
it
Change.org.
seems like
I'll sign it.
a no-brainer. However, for our pick this week, I feel confident that I have all the details right this time. And our suggestion this week comes from Chris.
In this
Let
game,
the questioning begin.
All right. In this game, does your character, either through speech bubbles and text or with audio, do they speak?
This is an interesting.
Do they?
Is this your new? Is this your new? I haven't watched it in a couple weeks. Is this your new startup?
I think he's just working on the new one every week.
Okay.
She was untied. I'm buying time. No,
Buys
I
my
think so. I think so.
Do you want me to pitch Holy Chips again while you look this up?
No, I'm not looking it up.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. You think so?
I wonder if maybe we need a new rule where if Damon doesn't have the answer, we don't lose a question.
I mean, I could just say, I could abstain for that one if you want to just give that a freebie.
All right.
Maybe it's Thief.
It could be. Could be Thief.
That feels like a game where I wouldn't be sure if you speak or not.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I've played that game.
Which Thief?
I don't remember.
The
You speak
original?
in Thief?
I don't remember. I don't think you speak in the original.
This is a game that all three of us played, and we can't
I'm
remember.
saying in the
if you
original.
speak.
I'm asking you the original.
I don't think
Original
you speak in
Thief?
the original.
No, definitely
No,
not in the
yeah.
original.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
We're going to give you a free question on that one, because I cannot
Okay.
say with 100% confidence that whether or not you speak.
In this, I'm sorry.
ahead.
In this video game, do people speak to you?
See, that's the same. It's the same question.
All right.
This is no question
That's not
for
true,
a
because in
horse.
Chrono Trigger you don't speak, but people speak to you the whole game.
That's true. That's a thing.
Yeah,
It
the
happens.
existence of any sort of like conversation or dialogue is something I'm not sure about.
All right.
enough.
So I'm going to ask the perennial then. Was this game released after January 1st, 2000?
No.
Okay.
Did you say after or before?
I said after.
Okay.
So that means it is before.
Right.
I guess going along with that,
It's a tough question.
I guess the easier way to do this was this a multi-platform game?
No. And I checked. It's not.
Did this game come out before January 1st, 1990?
Yes.
All right.
80s game.
80s game.
80s game,
before.
not multi. 80s game, platform exclusive.
Castlevania 2. No, but people,
Nailed it.
People clearly speak to you in that
In
game.
that
so
game, they
never
do.
mind.
People speak to you in Castlevania 2.
But Castlevania 3, I don't recall.
Yes, people speak to you
Yeah,
in
they do.
Castlevania 3. Okay. Yeah. But not in Castlevania 1.
Mega Man.
Maybe we should aim for the platform. Do you want to try to nail it to NES? See if it's that?
I think platform we should nail down. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Is this an NES game?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. We're well on our way. We can do developers. We can do genre.
I'm going to do a little bit of genre work. Is this game side-scrolling?
Yes.
Double Dragon. Did Nintendo make this game?
No.
Okay. So it's a non-Nintendo.
Non-Nintendo game. It's
River City
side-scrolling.
Ransom. Does
Yes.
barf count as speech?
Let's see.
Are they saying barf, or are they supposed to be barfing when they say barf?
I don't know because
Why are you obsessed with this question?
I don't remember from the Japanese version.
But like, I'm just saying it's a text bubble. You punch a guy in the stomach, and a text bubble says barf.
He does, yeah. That's
Do you,
true.
in your mind, were they saying barf, or were they barfing?
Yeah, in my mind, they're saying barf.
Or it's onomatopoeic. They're just saying something that sounded like barf.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You know, there's a version of that for the TurboGrafx that never came
All
out.
right, okay. Jared, you're up.
All right, I'm up. Let's. Do you play as a human in this game?
yes.
Okay, you're human.
Okay.
You're a human. Side-scrolling takes place. We don't know if anybody talks to you or not. And it's on the NES. It's not,
Exclusively on the NES.
and it's not Nintendo. Okay, so that means it's not arcade either. So it's not a port. That's good.
Is your primary mode of interaction punching and or kicking, like martial, anything like that?
Melee combat.
Primary. I don't know if you would call it primary.
I'll settle for this. Do you punch and kick enemies in this game?
I think so.
Okay, I think so. All right. It's not Kung Fu.
It's not correct, exactly. I can think of a few. It's not Double Dragon.
Yeah. It's not River City Ransom.
Yeah. All right. So it's not a brawler. We know that.
Does this game have sequels?
No.
Doesn't have any sequels.
Doesn't
That's
have
it.
any sequels.
Yeah, oh, that's fascinating.
Okay, so it's a one-off on the NES.
One-off NES game.
Power Blade.
Is this game produced by a Japanese
Blaster
developer?
Master?
Yes.
Japanese developed. Okay,
I don't think
that's
he'd be
important.
So it's, I'm sorry, it's Japanese developed.
So it's not a rare game. So that means it's
Right.
not a lot of the Ultra games. It's not some of the Konami rare games. It's okay.
That's 10.
all right. So it's Japanese produced, side-scrolling.
couldn't
plays
be
a
Blaster
human.
Master because he wouldn't be vague or unclear if you do punching and kicking stuff in that game, because you don't in that game.
Right.
Right.
It's all.
It's all shooting.
Also, wasn't Blaster Master it like a few weeks, like last year or something?
Yeah, I think
We've already done Blaster Master.
Is that true?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember anything.
one of the
that
episodes I was
happens in
on,
this
I
room
think.
when I leave.
Leave it all in here. All right, you're halfway done.
That's
You
what-
could probably rotate through like 5 games, and it would take me months to notice.
We could start looking at genre, developer.
Yeah,
If you have an inventory,
So
can you jump?
Vince is up.
So you asked if it was a Japanese developer.
Yeah, it's a Japanese developer.
So and the answer was yes. It is Japanese.
Japanese developer. You play a human.
All right.
It's,
So it is a Japanese developer.
There's some side-scrolling.
Was this game developed by Konami?
No.
Is this a platformer?
No. I need to be more
Okay.
self-assured.
Do you have an inventory in this game?
I think so. Yeah.
Go 13.
Could be GoGo 13. Actually, GoGo 13. You only have an inventory in the maze.
It could be.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It could be Bionic Commando.
It could be Bionic Commando.
It got
But no,
sequels.
because Bionic Commando is an arcade port, not a platform
And it got
exclusive.
sequels.
Yep. It got sequels and shows up on other platforms. So it's not
You're
Bionic
right.
Commando.
It does show up on other platforms.
I think that the fact
People
that
also talk to you in Bionic Commando.
Do you play as a human? We already asked that, but
it
I'm
plays a human.
reiterating.
Let's think about exclusives. It could be something like Vice Project Doom, or it could be
not gonna be Vice Project Doom.
it could be Clash of Demon Head. It could be GoGo 13. No, GoGo 13 had a sequel, so it can't be that, because Moffat Conspiracy was a sequel to that. It could be.
It's not a platformer.
It's not. It could be Guardian Legend. You have an inventory in that, and you play as a human that turns into a spaceship.
Right, but Guardian Legend is vert scrolling, not side scrolling.
I'm still
But-
weird.
but
I'm still
it's-
weirded
that's-
out.
yeah, that's
I'm still
fair.
weirded out by it
Good
not
point.
being a platformer. I don't even know what that leaves us with.
Well, it's just a lot. The NES library is so huge. It could be a shooter.
Yeah, but we know that there's some punching and kicking, so it's not like a racing game or any space shooter. But it's
And
not a platformer.
It's not Konami, so it's not The Adventures of Bayou Billy.
Yeah. Man.
Like I'm having trouble even picturing
There's
like
a
what
lot
genre
of
this
games in
is.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what we need to work on.
Yeah, we do.
Who's up?
Is this?
Is it you?
Yeah, I don't know. Is this played from a top-down perspective?
No. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not top down, so that means it's not a vertical shooter. It's
We already
not
talked about
an
being side
exploratory thing. It's a side.
Yeah, sorry, you did already say side scroller. That was a mistake. That was an unforced error on my part.
No, that's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It still eliminates some things. Like now we know for sure that it's not like a top-down adventure scroller,
right.
or so it's not.
Yeah.
That eliminates a lot. Actually,
I was picturing that one army game where you're traveling up
Ikari Warriors.
Commando.
Ikari Warriors.
Yeah.
I was picturing something like that. It
Yeah,
would
those-
maybe categorize as side-scrolling, even though.
What about things like Fasana? Do people talk to you definitely?
Yeah, they definitely do. God, I love Foxana too.
Gosh, there's so many NES games.
To narrow it down in that direction.
Well, maybe we
You're
do.
up.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
up. You're
Oh,
up.
is it me?
Yes.
Are we on me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about enemies? Could that help us? Or
Hone in on something like
Do you think
Vexanity.
eliminating another major developer might help?
No, that's a trap.
No.
It's a trap. Or is
Is the developer still in business?
Yes.
I don't like to narrow it down further than that.
That's 15.
Otherwise, you get sucked into
5 questions.
hone in on
left.
something like Vexanity. I like that.
Like just what? Like what do you got in mind for honing?
I don't know.
Well, we asked about an inventory. Does game contain significant RPG elements?
No.
Okay, well that takes out all the side-scrolling adventure games like Battle of Olympus,
That was a good question.
Xanadu. Wow. Okay, there's still so many this could be.
Is there? We have 4 questions left.
Yeah,
right?
we're getting
questions left.
Do you
narrow.
think it would be helpful to know if it's licensed?
Could be.
I was thinking about that, but I feel like most of the licensed games we could either eliminate or narrow down into with all the other questions we have answered already if we actually
Yeah.
thought about it. Like, what are some of the licensed games you would have thought of? Like Gremlins 2, until we eliminated top down.
But you play as a human, and in Gremlins 2 you play as Gizmo.
That's right. That's another reason you
yeah.
could have eliminated it. Yeah.
Wow,
So
this is
Skate or Die?
or die.
Skate or Die has top-down vertical scrolling
Yeah, it's
sections.
top-down
though.
sections in that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he said,
We said no
that's
top-down.
not in
yeah,
there.
okay.
So
It can't be TNC Surf Design because she plays a human.
I was gonna say something like that, like Paperboy.
It's not Clash and Demon Head. 'Cause
Paperboy's
that has
isometric.
RPG elements.
Yeah. Paperboy's not side scrolling. I'm just trying to think of something that's like not that doesn't fit into like an easy genre box.
right.
There's a lot of that.
I was thinking of maybe asking about if there's any shooting.
Yoshi's
If you can
Cookie?
shoot.
Yeah, you
ask if
guess
you
what?
can
You
shoot.
guess what? Shooting that would.
Yeah. So like, can you shoot in this game?
Like a gun?
Project.
that what you're asking?
Do you have projectile weapons?
Yes.
Probably should have asked that about 10 questions ago.
It's still in business, so it's not.
So it's probably a game.
It's not Tengen, so it's not Skulls and Crossbones.
It's probably a game where you're mostly shooting, but
Not
maybe
Gauntlet.
occasionally punching or kicking.
I'm gonna go back again and
What's the one that's what's the one that's like Bad Dudes but mostly shooting that in the arcade was played on 3 screens? Was played on one really big wide screen.
Wait,
that game called?
You're thinking of Ninja Warriors?
the Ninja Combat. That's a Neo Geo game.
But yeah,
There was one like that on the
did
NES
kinda-
where you're going. I can barely remember it. It's ninjas and you're going in and out of doors
Oh, are you thinking?
and you're shooting a gun. And
Oh,
there's like 3
Rolling
levels.
Thunder.
Rolling Thunder. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that has sequels.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Rolling Thunder.
I was thinking of Rolling Thunder earlier too, but it has
Okay.
sequels.
Rolling Thunder and Shinobi both have sequels. Both were on NES, but both have sequels.
Yeah. What about?
And that was
But
Tengen, which is
what is it? Is it Black Manta or Legend of the
Oh, Wrath of the Black Manta?
Wrath of the Black Manta? That doesn't.
I would normally
Wrath
say
of the
Damon
Black
would
Manta
never pick
has
a game like that, but
Wrath
you
of the
picked
Black Manta
Karnov.
has some melee. You can also throw shurikens.
Yeah.
You are a
think Karnov
human.
for all
It's side-scrolling. It's Tengen.
How many
Did
questions we got
develop
No,
it?
Wrath of the
3.
Black Manta was a Tengen. I remember who it was,
Is
but it
this
wasn't
a?
Tengen.
Is
Was
this
it a Japanese company?
I'm almost positive.
Keep it together.
I want to go out on a limb. We got 3 questions left.
Yeah.
I want to find out if there's any sort of ninja flavor. In
I'm
this.
okay with this.
I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
there are a lot of
Yo, this game got ninjas.
No.
Okay, so all the Ninja Gaidens, Wrath of the Black
18.
Manta.
2 questions left.
All right.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in real
Losing
trouble here.
streak.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. Like I said, I need someone to bounce this off of. Can we rule Power Blade out?
No, Power Blade could be this. That actually fits really well.
Like it doesn't have a sequel. I can't remember who developed it though.
I don't
I'm
know
bad
who
with
did
that.
Power Blade either.
Nobody knows.
But Power Blade has a sequel. Isn't there Power Blade 2?
does?
I'm almost positive there's Power Blade 2. I could be wrong. Now I'm doubting myself.
The developer is still in business. I feel like that was a big-ish clue. How many of these companies are still around? It's
Right.
that means it almost has.
Capcom, Konami.
Yeah, Japanese
We've
made
ruled out-
that it's
and we've
not
ruled out
Konami.
Konami, right, we've
So
ruled out
that
Konami.
leaves really just Capcom.
Well, no, Tecmo. Tecmo, Namco eventually produced for the NES.
we did kind of gloss over that clue. We know it's an NES exclusive made by a Japanese company that's still in
Still-
business. That's not Nintendo.
So let's go
or
with the biggest
Konami.
one. That would be Capcom, right?
yeah.
Like so, like what are some Capcom
Ghosts
games
and
that would-
Goblins. We got many sequels.
but it had many sequels, right?
But,
Yeah.
and it's not a platformer, but you shoot things made by Capcom.
Okay, so this is. I mean, I guess he would have thought a little bit about. He would have thought a little bit about whether or not there's a sequel, but I mean, like there was a Street Fighter game, Street Fighter 20XX on.
Yeah, there was. There
that
was Street Fighter 20X.
Doesn't have a sequel.
What about this? No, Strider. Strider has Strider 2.
Strider
There's
has
a sequel.
Strider has
There's a
sequels.
sequel. Okay.
And was an arcade port.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's got ninja.
Yeah, and it's got ninjas. You're right. That's off. There's some janky. Yeah, there's Goblets has sequels. Goodness gracious,
This is a tough one.
great one actually. I wonder if this is like the most obvious thing in the world. Goodness gracious, you shoot projectiles, side scrolling. You may or may not talk
Metal
to people.
Storm?
Metal Storm. You're not a human. You're a
Well,
Is that true?
you're a robot, aren't you?
you could be a human inside a robot.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the
You're
lore.
humanoid. In
Power
any case.
Blade is interesting.
Like
Yeah.
Batman or RoboCop?
Oh yeah, RoboCop, but
RoboCop's Data East.
yeah, and it was multi-platform.
I wish I would have asked if it was a license. game.
RoboCop's multi-platform.
Now it's too late.
Well, is it too late? How many
most-
questions do you have
Two
left?
questions.
Most licensed games were multi-platform, though.
Yeah. Well,
So-
or just on the NES. I mean,
That's true. There were.
Yeah. It's kind of the only game in town at the time.
That's true.
Where does DuckTales fall?
You don't play
on
as a
the-
human in DuckTales.
That's, I guess, technically. Well, it's not. But it's like but it's an anamorphic animal, right? Like, so, like, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
anthropomorphic. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't trying to
No,
be.
it's okay.
got
just
you on a
like, no.
technical. Hey, you're technically a duck in that game.
All right, 2 questions
Two
left.
questions.
Let's bring it home.
All right. Do you want to try the license thing?
Is this a licensed game?
Yes.
Ah!
So much time wasted. Crap. It is a licensed
It's
game.
a licensed game. Oh my.
Not so.
gosh.
Definitely not
Okay.
Power Blade. That nukes Power Blade, Metal Storm,
Okay.
things I was talking
Can
about.
you bring out the Hail Mary with your last question?
A licensed game for NES. There were a lot of those.
A
You play as
licensed game
human,
on the
not made
NES
by
where you
Konami.
are a human.
Back to the Future Part
Japanese
2 and 3?
produced. No,
There-
there are sequels to that.
Japanese developer, there's side scrolling.
Sort of, but not really. Like,
What?
there's more Back to the Future games. They're not sequels. They're just more games.
Well,
And
they say
that-
2 and 3 in them. I think Damon would have at least
But that's
gone,
one game.
I think you would
That's
have been.
one game. That's one cart. Back to the Future Part 2 and 3 is one game.
Yeah, but isn't there a back to...
That's right. The question was not, is this part of a series? The question was,
No.
is this a sequel? Does
But
it
there
have
is a
sequels?
Back to the Future 3 on Genesis. I feel like he'd have walked that back a little bit.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
I feel like, but I want to point out that it's possible our reading of the does this game have sequels question might be screwing us up here, because just because a game does not have a sequel does not mean it's not
it
part
also
of the
just
series.
fits. I'm not saying it's that,
Yeah.
okay? But not clearly a platformer, but is 2D side scrolling.
True.
Not completely sure if you punch and kick in that game, but you do have projectiles.
But isn't that a sequel to Back to the Future for NES, which is a top-down platformer?
I would call them both licensed games. I wouldn't call them sequels.
And it could be, and to be clear, again, just to double down on this, it sounds like if you read the way we should read this is the game itself could be a sequel. It just doesn't have any sequels. See what I'm saying? We didn't ask, is it a series of games?
I see the point. I still feel like there's something out there.
Was there? I don't
We should
even
keep-
know.
we should keep
Was there
thinking.
like a Predator Alien game on the NES? Was there, I'm trying to think of other big properties that came out.
think
Like
there's
it's not
an Alien
Ninja
game
Turtles
on
because that was
NES.
Konami.
Right, that
Right.
was Konami. There are a lot of NES licensed games.
Was Activision making licensed stuff on the? Oh, but it's Japanese made.
It's Japanese made, and that's the other bit that's really, geez. I
so
don't remember.
RoboCop, why can't it be RoboCop?
Because RoboCop's multi-platform. It was all over the place.
That's right.
RoboCop's multi-platform.
But even in the 80s.
Even in the 80s, yeah, it was ported to several different. Like you could play it on the color computer.
Ooh, was there some? No, because it would probably just be kind of a port of the arcade version. But I was just gonna say, like, what about Superman?
Oh, there was. I mean, there is a.
And you did punch and kick in that,
You do
but you
punch
also
and
had
kick and
projectiles.
shoot,
But that was
and you had
the eye
heat vision.
lasers. But that was like, was there a port of on the NES of the arcade version? Is that what that was?
No, Superman for NES is its own kind of thing. I think.
I give up.
Wait, on
Right.
those grounds. Wait,
Yeah,
hold
let's
on.
bring
Those
it
grounds,
home.
what about Batman? What about Batman though?
Batman had a sequel, Return of the Joker.
Oh right.
We've reached the end of our journey.
Oh no.
I feel like we would get this within enough time.
we have one more question though, right?
It's not called 100 questions.
Right, we do have one more question
You do-
though.
I mean,
we
but
do have one more
Yeah,
but
question.
if you don't guess-
you have to guess the
Can't
game.
be Roger
Yeah.
Rabbit because that's got top
Oh,
down.
the
Your
game
final
has to be
question-
the last.
Yeah.
The game
Well,
has to
yeah.
be the last.
you only have 20 questions total to
Oh, right,
guess
right.
Yeah,
the
this
game.
is it.
No RPG elements, licensed game. I don't know, 80s toys.
I want to tell you guys.
What
Are you done?
hold, no.
Yeah.
What's
spin your last question?
Justin, what's your best guess?
Mine would be Back to the Future.
What's
Part
your
2
best
and 3.
guess?
I don't think it's that.
Let's go with your guess because
What about you? Do you have one?
I don't have one now. I got to think for a couple more minutes.
Neither.
I'll have one.
Wait a minute. Hold. Wait a minute. What about the Bart Simpsons versus the Space Mutants?
That was on Genesis.
It had sequels. And it was on NES, but it had sequels.
It had sequels?
Yeah, it had sequels. Also produced, it was developed by David Crane in America.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I also don't know who made Back to the Future. That was probably made in America, too.
I think LJN licensed it, and I think it might have been developed by Atlas, but it may have been made in Australia.
We give up.
All right.
it.
All right, what
We submit.
You were just dancing around it just now.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed I haven't misled anyone. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yep, perfect.
Developed by Atlas, published by LJN.
Yeah, Jan. Yep, perfect. Yep.
So, is there any dialogue
Wait a minute,
in that
well,
game?
There's
Actually-
there is.
I couldn't remember if there's actually if anyone talks to you, if you say anything.
You go into the cabins.
there's multiple
and you get, but however,
teenagers.
you do have an inventory system, and there are
Yeah.
RPG elements, and that's
Well, hold on. I said there is an inventory system.
yeah. But there are
So
also RPG elements in that game.
You said, would you say there are significant RPG elements?
I mean, there's a map screen. There's
that's not
experience
RPG.
upgrades. You fight the.
I wouldn't.
Also, is
I
it
would-
just me?
I think
I'm trying to
I think
remember-
it was.
I think Damon's on
I think
safe
Damon's.
ground.
I think
I'm
Damon's
also
on
trying to
safe ground.
remember what because I didn't really play the game that much, but like my memory of Friday the 13th
That's a great one.
is it kind of being almost Shadowgate-esque from a first person
not a
perspective.
point.
No, it has.
Well, so
You play from the side
Yeah, he's
screen,
right.
and then
when you go into
in the
a cabin,
building,
then
and
the
That's
camera's
what I'm
behind
remembering.
you.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I'm remembering.
Yep, and then
And they were projectile weapons in that game?
yeah,
throwing
lots of
rocks.
them. You throw rocks, knives.
right.
But I couldn't remember if you actually punch anything.
You,
what I was saying.
as far as I remember, yes, you play Punch Out with Jason, but you just throw knives at him and throw rocks.
Yeah.
You never actually have a melee attack in that game. That
I thought you melee attack from the 2D view.
no, you actually throw things even
You're like
there.
throwing rocks at the zombies and wolves.
Yeah, and you throw rocks from the 2D view, but it's still. I think Damon's on good ground here.
You got
Oh
it.
yeah, I think so too.
I can't believe I got
Chris
to
and I-
LJN and didn't get to Friday the 13th.
Yeah, developed by Atlas, because you were talking
Yeah.
about Atlas earlier on the show.
Yeah. That's really,
13th.
really depressing that I didn't go
Darn.
there. Wow,
So I wanted to say, this is actually
I think
a-
I've lost a lot of these.
It's a very well-known NES game that we talk about quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a terrible game, but it's
It's a very bad
memorable.
game, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very memorable, and it was unique, and it was that's.
Should have asked if it was a good game.
Bravo.
If we would have found out it was a bad game,
That's
we
a good
would've got
question. That's a good question just in general. Like, is this a bad game?
Is this a bad
is this
game?
Oh yeah.
generally-
There's lots of. I was talking about this on the way into work this morning in the car with people I carpool with. There's lots of like terrible games that are terrible that I loved when I was younger.
Yeah.
The first time I ever played that game was at my elementary school's spring fling. They had
Wow.
brought a Nintendo and a TV and set it up.
And they
you
brought
could-
that?
And you could pay to play, and it was just some kid's like video game collection he brought, and we just all played Friday the 13th because he had that, and there were all these other games, but all we wanted to play was Friday the 13th because we were, in third grade or something, and it was great. It was a bad game, but somehow the parents didn't seem to have a problem with this. So, yay.
Better luck next time.
Man, I
Friday the 13th, everybody. That's all the scoops we have for this week. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do that. youtube.com/gamescoop. In addition to the full episodes, we also post various Let's Plays and other fun videos over there. So
Holy chip.
Holy Chip also. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Vince. My name is Damon. This is IGN GameScoop, and we're out.